They called him overrated. That word followed him through every stage of his career. Not quick enough, not strong enough, that jumper, low, awkward, unfixable. Even when he dominated, people found reasons to dismiss it. They said he was just a smart passer, a good system guy, never a star, never a number one. Just another solid player who would fade into the background when real talent stepped in. The criticism wasn't just from random fans. Respected analysts questioned his ceiling. Draft experts wondered if his style would translate. They analyzed his shooting mechanics frame by frame, pointing out every deviation from textbook form. But what they didn't see was the mind behind the mechanics. They couldn't measure the way he studied the game, or how every flaw people pointed out just made him work harder. At 14, Tyrese Haliburton couldn't even crack his local AAU team. He wasn't a late bloomer. He was just invisible, unremarkable, the kind of kid who blended into the end of the bench. His high school coach didn't sugarcoat it, called him the worst freshman he had ever coached. It wasn't said out of cruelty. It was just true at the time. Tyrese was awkward, skinny, and lacked all the polish you're supposed to have at that age if you want to play Division I basketball. He wasn't explosive. He didn't have elite handles. He didn't even have a normal-looking jump shot. And to make it worse, it wasn't just awkward, it was ineffective. During one drill, a 3-year-old kid blocked it. That moment stuck with him. Not because it was funny, but because it was real. But here's what separated Tyrese from every other kid who got cut or overlooked. He saw that moment as data, not defeat. While other players might have been embarrassed, he was calculating. How could he get his release point higher? How could he create more space? Even at 14, he was already thinking like a student of the game. Most players would have walked away, changed sports, lowered expectations. Tyrese went in the other direction. He didn't start trash talking or demanding respect. He didn't make social media posts or beg for exposure. He worked, quietly, daily, relentlessly. He showed up early, left late. He was obsessed with learning the game, understanding how to run an offense, how to make teammates better, and how to read a defense in real time. He didn't just want to be good. He wanted to be in control. The gym became his laboratory. While other teenagers were hanging out, Tyrese was breaking down the film. He studied Chris Paul's pick and roll reads. He analyzed Steve Nash's spacing. He wasn't just copying moves, he was understanding concepts. The why behind every decision. His coaches started noticing that he would ask questions other players never thought of. By junior year, he started to figure it out. He led Oshkosh North High School to an undefeated regular season. He was still skinny, still overlooked, but he had become the clear leader of the team. Then came the state quarterfinals. Pressure mounted. The team cracked. Tyrese took that loss personally. It wasn't just about missing a chance at a title. It was about learning what leadership under pressure really takes. That loss taught him something crucial. Talent gets you to the game.
Amp I got that I was like, yeah, I'm here, was we played Kansas, like our first conference game or second conference game at the crib. We beat them by 20. They were top 5 in the country at the time. And I remember Bill Self going through the handshake line, was like, you can play anywhere in the country. And he said in the post-game presser, like, that's one of the best backcourts in the country. Yeah. And I was like, wow, because again, coming into the year, nobody even knew who I was. Yeah. And so now we're only, 13 games in a year, and he's already saying that. And I was like, yeah, I know I belong, and from there, it just took off.
But composure wins it. His senior year, he fixed everything. He averaged 23 points per game, grabbed rebounds, dropped dimes, and got steals. He won the state championship. Still, he was barely on anyone's radar. The recruiting process was humbling. Power schools passed. Big-name programs looked elsewhere. He committed to Iowa State, not because it was a top program, but because they were one of the only ones who actually believed in him. He didn't care about playing for the most famous school. He cared about playing for people who saw him. Iowa State gave him the keys early. He didn't waste them. His freshman season wasn't filled with SportsCenter highlights, but the right people were paying attention. Coaches, scouts, executives. They saw how he read the floor, how he moved without the ball, how he defended smarter, not harder. One scout said he would be the best NBA prospect on the team, and at the time, that sounded like a stretch. But Tyrese didn't need the outside world to believe in him. He knew what he was building. What made him special wasn't flashy. It was the way he could see 3 passes ahead, the way he remembered every player's shooting preferences. Teammates started coming to him for advice. Coaches leaned on him in timeout huddles. In his sophomore season, he leveled up across the board. Scoring, passing, rebounding, defense, all of it improved. He was clearly in command of the offense. But then a wrist injury cut the season short. A lot of players would have walked away at that point. Shut it down. Focused on the draft. Tyrese stuck around. He was at every practice, every game. Coaching from the sideline, still leading. Even when injured, he was making his teammates better. He'd call out defensive rotations from the bench. When scouts watched those practices, they weren't just evaluating his eventual return. They were watching how he elevated everyone around him without even stepping on the court. The 2020 NBA draft was different because of the pandemic. No green room, no big stage. Just a living room in Wisconsin and a TV screen. Tyrese was projected to go in the top 5. When pick after pick passed him, he didn't panic. He didn't sulk. He stayed calm. At pick 12, the Sacramento Kings called his name.
The fall to the Kings.
With the 12th pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Tyrese Haliburton from Iowa State University.
A lot of people were stunned that he fell that far. Others thought the Kings reached. The split was real. But Haliburton? He just smiled. That smile wasn't arrogance. It was confidence. He'd been counted out before. Falling to 12 just meant 11 teams would regret passing on him. His rookie year in Sacramento shut a lot of people up. He wasn't just good. He was efficient. He was composed. He made smart decisions. He knocked down threes with that same awkward shooting form everyone hated. But now, it was falling, and falling often. He finished top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting. His assist-to-turnover ratio was elite. His teammates trusted him. The coaching staff leaned on him. But something didn't fit. The Kings had De'Aaron Fox, and they weren't ready to turn the franchise over to Haliburton. The basketball world started to take notice. That awkward shot they'd criticized, it was going in at a 40% clip from 3. Those slow first steps they'd questioned, they were perfectly timed to his reads. Everything that looked wrong was actually right, just different. Midway through his second season, Sacramento traded him. The reaction was instant: shock, anger, even disbelief. Tyrese didn't see it coming. He loved Sacramento, wanted to help fix things. But suddenly, he was headed to Indiana. And that's where everything changed. From the moment he arrived in Indiana, the Pacers made it clear this was his team. They didn't ask him to blend in. They asked him to lead. He responded instantly. The ball moved faster. The offense became more fluid. Players started playing with joy again. The energy in the locker room shifted. Tyrese wasn't just putting up stats. He was shifting culture. Indiana had found their cornerstone. Not just a player, but a leader. And when it was time to negotiate, the Pacers gave him a max extension without hesitation. That offseason, Tyrese put on muscle, added strength, and focused on getting even better. Not to prove people wrong, but to prove himself right. In the 2023-24 season, he took it to another level. In a game against the Celtics, he dropped 26 points and 13 assists without a single turnover. A few nights later, he posted a 30-point, 15-assist, 0-turnover performance again, joining only legends like Magic Johnson and John Stockton in that category. These weren't one-off games. This was becoming normal for him. He led the Pacers to one of the best offensive ratings in the league, The playoffs weren't just a possibility, they were expected. In the first round, Indiana beat Milwaukee. Tyrese was surgical, running the offense, controlling tempo, and making smart reads. Then came the Knicks. Madison Square Garden. History. Pressure. Haliburton embraced it. In Game 3, he lit them up. 35 points, 7 threes. After one clutch shot, he hit the choke gesture, a nod to Reggie Miller's iconic moment decades earlier. But this wasn't imitation. This was ownership. This was Haliburton saying, "This is my moment now." In Game 6, he finished them off. 26 points, 15 assists, 0 turnovers, ice-cold execution. Not just playing well, dominating on the road, under pressure. In the Eastern Conference Finals, he put together one of the most complete playoff performances ever by a point guard. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, and again, 0 turnovers. No showboating, just surgical basketball. Then the hamstring gave out. He couldn't finish the series. The Pacers got swept, but no one blamed him. Because everyone saw what they were with him and what they weren't without him. Then came the Olympics. Tyrese joined Team USA in Paris. He didn't play huge minutes, but he soaked up every second. He won gold. Came back with more hunger, more clarity. Another level of maturity. This wasn't about revenge. It was about growth, control, winning. The numbers were historic. The impact was undeniable. They used to call him overrated. Now? He's one of the best point guards in the league. A franchise cornerstone. A leader who runs the game at his pace, on his terms. He didn't change who he was to fit the league. He made the league adjust to him. And the best part? He's just getting started. From overlooked to unstoppable, this is the story of Tyrese Haliburton.